Welcome to Keep Trucking Personal, where we invite you to explore the heart and soul of our company, Kivi Brothers Trucking. Through engaging storytelling, insightful market updates, and vibrant energy, our podcast reflects our culture, values, and achievements. Whether you're a team member or industry enthusiast, join us to build connections, foster growth, and inspire excellence. Discover why we're more than just a company. We're a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those aspiring to be part of something extraordinary. The pre-trip is complete and engines ready. We're set to hit the road on the Keep Trucking Personal podcast. Let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Keep Trucking Personal. This podcast, we don't just talk about trucks, we talk about the truth of the road. And in today's episode, something that's not talked about enough, and that's courage. And the courage it takes to be a truck driver, the courage to stay in the industry when things get hard, the courage to keep moving forward when everything in you says stop. And so courage isn't just driving a 13-axle setup without blinking, or courage is knowing when you're nervous and maybe even afraid and doing it anyway. That's the first step. That early morning alarm, that load you've never hauled before, takes courage to leave your family. It takes courage to run 600 miles in bad weather. And it takes courage to park at a truck stop hundreds of miles away from home and crawl into your bunk alone. And we often glorify the grit behind that. But let's not forget the guts it takes to do this job. And for me, I'll never forget the first time I had an opportunity to haul a multi-axle load. We had a top driver scheduled to leave with a 100,000+ machine. And that load was coming from Superior, Wisconsin, going to Indianapolis. Everything was ready to go. The truck was hooked up to the trailer. Everything was loaded, tied down, and secured. And then Saturday, the night before he was going to leave on Sunday, he started passing kidney stones. He went into the emergency room. They had given him medicine and essentially said, you're going to have to ride this out. So he was in no shape to get behind the wheel. And for anyone that's had kidney stones, you know what I'm talking about. That is a very painful process, and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing to really hurry it up. And so he was upset that he couldn't go, but that machine had to be there Monday morning, and that was in Indianapolis. So he couldn't go. I was next up. I had been with him many times. I had escorted him. That was one of the things I'm most proud about, was being an escort and actually being able to follow, help chain, help learn how to run these machines, help learn how to deck up a trailer. Because if you've never pulled a trailer with a Jeep and a booster, when you're empty, if there's not another load near you, or depending where you're heading, a lot of times you'll disassemble the trailer and you'll deck it up. That way you're a legal load and you can go anywhere you want without needing permits and all that. So it took somebody that knew the equipment. And like I said, that was me. I was up next. And for me, the opportunity was huge. The opportunity was huge, but I kept thinking, what if I mess this up? What if I don't know what I'm doing? What if I miss the mark? What if I don't succeed? And this wasn't just a load. This is my first statement. This is my first time hauling a trailer, like I said, with a Jeep and a booster, and doing it on my own. There was no escort. In Wisconsin, you do not need an escort when you're big. It's one of the unique states that allows you to be very long, very wide, and very high without an escort. So I didn't have one and didn't need it. And so taking off on my own was nerve-wracking. And I remember being in the truck, airing everything up, getting ready to go, entering my first scale. In leaving Superior, there was a scale within 5 or 10 miles, whatever it is, the first scale there. And entering it, it was open, of course, on a Sunday, and going through it. And that right out the gate, it was like nerves were high. Everything was there. I was heavy and everything was intimidating. And I showed up, but I did it with courage. And I learned and leaned on from what I had been taught. And I leaned on my family for support. I remember making phone calls to Derek a couple times, like reassuring myself that I'm the right one for this job. It's my time and it was my opportunity. And he's very supportive. Yeah, you got this. You'll be fine. You know what you're doing. Get out there and do it and get the mission done. That's how I looked at it. It was, hey, it's my time to succeed and show that I've worked hard for this. And I remember when I was in Indianapolis the next day unloading, being on the younger side, I remember all the mechanics that were there to help take the machine off, and they were getting it ready for the sale prep. And as I was decking the trailer up and everything, I know they were probably like, see, what is he doing? He's too young to be doing this job. And it was super hot. It was summer. And I remember I drank so much water and all of the Gatorade that driver had in his truck. I remember calling him and saying, I owe you a case of Gatorade because I drank everything in here. And it was brutally hot. I feel like all the challenges were there. We got it done, made it to the truck stop after getting unloaded and cashed in. I was out cold. I was sleeping. Woke up the next day, finished the trip back to the yard. And man, it felt good. That was a notch in my belt that I'll never forget. And you know what? I made it. And the road to Indianapolis didn't just carry that machine. It carried the man that I was becoming. It helped set me up for my future endeavors. And so let's talk real for a second. As we go through all of the courage that it takes to be a driver, let's talk that we know depression is real out on the road. Isolation is real out on the road. Fear is real out on the road. And you might be smiling in the fuel island, but inside you're thinking, I'm done. I'm alone. Is this worth it? You wonder if anyone sees your effort. You wonder if anyone understands. That's why courage matters so much. Courage is getting back in the seat when no one thanks you, and courage is choosing discipline over doubt and purpose over panic. The big thing for me in this industry, and I talk about it all the time, is bringing trucking back to what it was. And that's trucking for a purpose. Trucking is a great career. It's a great career for anyone, even if you've never heard of it and you want to learn and get into it and get your license. And I encourage you to take that step because for me, trucking's been my whole life. But it quickly challenges you, and you need to have a purpose to overcome everything in this industry. Otherwise, it will burn you out. And purpose is the big one. For me, purpose is to continually be an advocate for this industry, stand up for what I believe in, and help the younger generation understand that you can do it. Because it is challenging. Everything that I attend, every seminar, everywhere I go, I'm usually one of the youngest people in the room, and you get looked down on. You get looked like he doesn't have experience. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just been put in this role. It's because he was in the family. And that's why I like to tell our story, and what makes us unique as a company is everyone got put through the ringer. You started out washing trucks. You started out in the shop. You started out in the office. You started out when you could drive. You went out trucking. You did everything we had. Once you turned 21, you had to experience the road to know what it was like. And that's what built my foundation. And that's why it's most important to understand that we are in a daily war to succeed in this industry. And that's why it takes courage. The market is tough. Freight isn't what it was. But this isn't the time to fold, friends. This is the 11th hour, and it's time to double down. It's time to get up earlier. It's time to inspect better. It's time to communicate more. It's time to secure tighter, and it's time to drive smarter. And that's because every mile matters. And courage looks like calling your kid before you go to sleep and before they go to sleep and talking to them every day. Courage is doing the little things when no one's watching and doing the right thing. Courage looks like asking for help, even when this industry has a lot of people that may claim to know what they're doing, may claim to be the best at what they do. This industry, you can never go wrong if you build an alliance with friends or coworkers and help leverage their strengths. Everyone has something to offer in this industry. And courage looks like staying with your company and building the future, even when the road gets rough. We see so much turnover in this industry, and it's an alarming rate. So many people jump and move around before they buckle in, before they ride the tide, because there's always social media. The culture of the trucking industry is so loose. Everyone sees a shiny, greener grass on the other side, and they're not willing to commit and stick with it. Now, I'm not saying every trucking company is perfect. I know we're not perfect. But man, in order to get to that level, you have to give that commitment. Or give feedback. Give feedback to people at the company. Give feedback to your driver manager. Give feedback to somebody that, hey, man, I really would appreciate it if I could get this. We're all human here. We all want to get better. But that's when it takes courage to stand up, to give that, to do it face to face, to make sure that you're not talking behind someone's back and doing the right thing. And that's the real pros in the business. They're not always the loudest. They're not always the most confident, but they show up. They do the work, and they bring courage every day. And if you're listening today and you're feeling that weight, just know this. You are not alone. This job takes everything you've got, and that's exactly why it matters. The world doesn't run without truckers, and truckers don't run without courage. So let this be a reminder. You're stronger than you feel. You're making an impact even when no one sees it, and you better believe it. And you're part of a team that believes in doing the hard things well. So thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for being the heartbeat of the road. And until next time, stay safe, stay ready, and keep trucking personal.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Keep Trucking Personal. We appreciate you taking the time to explore the heart and soul of Kivi Brothers Trucking with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Tune in next time as we continue our journey together, diving deeper into what makes us a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those who aspire to be part of something truly extraordinary. Until then, keep trucking, and we'll catch you on the next episode.